listeners, welcome again to another edition of Impact Stories. This is the program on which we seek to highlight people who have risen through the ranks to achieve great feats in academia. I am Aidoo and I'm sitting in for your regular host, Transford Bakrin. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, I tell you who we are celebrating today and the show will continue from there. Stay tuned.
Are you an institution or individual? Do you intend to organize a memorable event to be archived for future reference? Then look no further than AAU Studios because it's your best bet. With our spacious studio and state-of-the-art media equipment such as 4K Panasonic video cameras, KinoFlow lights, assorted microphones, live streaming machines and others, you are sure to get the best of production. Visit us at Trinity Avenue, East Legon, adjacent the National Accreditation Board, or contact the AAU studio via the following addresses: info@aau.org, AAUTV@aau.org, ransford@aau.org. Alternatively, you can call us on 0244 185 998 or 0244 693 342.
Welcome back. This is Impact Stories, and as I said earlier, this is a program on which we showcase people who have achieved enviable positions in academia. And today, we are lucky to be speaking to a professor who is. We are lucky to be speaking to a professor who is at the Igbinedion University, Okada, Nigeria. Her name is Professor Mrs. Tonye Grace Okorie. She is the Dean of the Graduate School and Research here at Igbinedion University. And before I am held liable for contempt, let me quickly say that this is the premier and leading private university here in Nigeria. Welcome to the show, Prof.
Thank you.
Let's dwell a bit on your primary days. Do you still remember some of your classmates at that time?
Yes, I do, and I still communicate with them.
Great.
Maybe I should tell you something that struck me when I was in primary school.
Okay. Interested.
There was this man that came in. He's an African man, the late Professor Tekenatama. And they were celebrating him. He had a master's in something. They were celebrating him. So I looked at him and said, what is master's? This man did master's. I will do it. That was the motivation that kept me going and going. That was my primary school days. It was quite, in those days, primary school was, you move from your village to your school, no shoes, you run around, play, whatever, and you go back, innocent. Then when I went to my secondary school, Union Secondary School in Biako, the principals inculcated something in me that has not left up to now. They were white men from Scotland, Ireland, and mostly English women. It was a female school. And they taught us discipline. Till today, there's something they taught us that cannot leave me. I cannot leave my house without making my bed. Because it was said that a sound mind and a disciplined mind cannot see the place untidy. We were in the dormitory. And they will make our bed, the dormitory head will inspect, and off we go to school. If you do not make your bed, and there is a specific way you must make it, if you don't make your bed and you leave your place, you will be punished. Till today, that takes me. When I had my children now and they want to leave their house, their rooms, they must make their bed. And they must make their bed, they must tidy their room, they must keep the place tidy. Because the thing is, you don't know whom you are coming back with.
Okay.
And that person must see your place tidy. Those two, that's something I got from secondary school. When I entered the university, of course, there is no, it's what you...
Prof, before your university days,
Yes.
what program did you do at the secondary school, and what informed that decision of a program choice?
When in the secondary school days, I was science inclined. We did our biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, English literature, all that. And in those days, you must pass your English before you are given a certificate. Anybody that failed English had failed, whether you have AAA or not. Okay? P, you must pass. So we had very good science teachers, all women, and that gravitated me to science. I actually, when I entered the university, I actually wanted to do medicine. But when I did my A-level, I didn't have physics. And that made me to pursue zoology. By the time I had this physics at 100 level, we had a choice, either to do medicine or to stay where you are. I looked at it. 2 years, I would have become a graduate. I'm now going back to do medicine for 5 years. And I've, incidentally now, I've fallen in love with zoology.
Okay.
Because I have known what, from the basic of animal, right down to the insect, to man. And I've fallen in love with it, so I opted for zoology.
So back to your secondary school days.
Okay.
Did you hold any positions?
Oh, I was the senior prefect of the school. That was
Senior prefect.
Yes, in 1961, I was a senior prefect. Then maybe you also want to know that in 1964, I did my higher school in St. Anne's Secondary School, Ibadan.
Okay.
And again, I was a senior prefect there
I see.
at higher school before I went into the University of Ibadan.
So during that time, during your secondary school period, did you have any career ambition? Had
I wanted to do medicine. In fact, my father wanted me to be a lawyer. Those are all the two things that they knew at that time, in the 60s. You either be a lawyer or a doctor. I didn't like law,
Okay.
so I wanted to be a doctor. But then, I did not have my physics at higher school, so I was taken to do zoology, and I fell in love with zoology. That's it.
So your first degree was in zoology?
Yes,
and
BSc zoology.
BSc zoology.
Yes.
And the second degree?
MSc entomology. That is the study of insects. And I went in to study the insect called mosquito.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I was still having some romance with medical,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that is a medical thing.
Okay.
The mosquitoes, the Anopheles mosquito, is the vector of malaria parasite. That's what I went to study. And then at the end of it all, I had my PhD in virology.
Now, let's look at the link between your first degree and your BSc and your MSc. Zoology and the second one you studied a program on insects, that's mosquito. Do the two have any link?
Oh yes. In zoology, we do what is called systematic zoology. And you go from the basic amoeba, you move up to nematodes, you move up to arachnids, and then up to the insects. Before you now go to the fishes, the vertebrates, and we move up to man. So when we say zoology, it is the study of animals. All animals, from amoeba right up, even to man. And you'll be surprised, they all have basic physiology. the physiology of the one cell amoeba is the same thing as the physiology of man.
I see.
The only difference is that because man is high,
Mm-hmm.
everything about him has become higher than that one. But basically, what we say is that every living thing breathe, walk about,
Yes.
live, respire, all those the same.
Okay. So why didn't you continue with the zoology but did a different program? Was it the case that there wasn't a program at the postgraduate level for zoology?
Yeah, but you know, when you now do postgraduate, you have a choice of which of the group of animals have you fallen in love with.
Okay.
We in UI, we have the entomology unit, that is all the insects, arachnids and so on, arthropods. We have the parasitology unit, we have the ecology unit, fishery units and so on. As I told you, I fell in love with the mosquitoes.
Yes.
And they are the insects as part of the animals that encapsule zoology. So I was still on the line.
Okay. And now to your PhD.
Okay, now when I did my PhD, you know, you qualify as you go higher and higher. It is said that you know less and less, or rather more and more about less and less. Okay? You know more and more about less and less.
What does it mean?
Now, what does that mean? I've taken mosquito out of zoology. Okay. I now take what does the mosquito do? A little bit of it out of the mosquito. The mosquito transmits all sorts of diseases. Malaria is one of them. Viruses, bacteria, they do. So I decided to take the virological aspects
okay.
of what the mosquito transmits. Still, I'm still on zoology. I haven't left.
Now you have narrowed down.
I have narrowed down. I now became a virologist. And if you're a virologist, you are talking about diseases. And if you are talking about diseases, there is something we call when there is an attack from outside on the human being, the body produces an antibody to fight that disease. So we are talking about when there is an attack, you say it's an antigen entering. Then, so I have to know again how the body fights any germ that enters. So I study immunology. Immunology is the study of how the body defends itself against anything that comes in, whether it is a virus, whether it's a parasite, a nematode. The body, before it breaks down, it fights it.
Yeah.
So because I'm now a virologist, and that means the mosquito takes in the virus, injects it into the human being, I was interested to know how the body fights it.
Mm-hmm.
So my PhD was on virology, and I have to know immunology and so on. That is how I have a certificate, postgraduate certificate in immunology, PhD in virology, MSc in entomology, and BSc zoology. They are all animals.
Okay.
The same thing wrapped up.
So the
beautiful.
higher you go, the narrow it
That's why it
the
said
narrower it becomes.
as you go up, you learn
okay. Less.
more and more about less and less.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now I want to also add something. That while I was going like this, I noticed the environment. That it is the environment that will make the mosquito to thrive. So I went abroad now to Bradford University to have a study on environmental impact assessment. I also have a certificate, you could call it PG certificate in environmental impact, all linked up to what makes a man to fight whatever it is and what causes diseases.
So what was your research area at the PhD?
My research area at the PhD, I was working on the virus called Congo virus.
Congo virus.
And Dugbe virus.
Wow, these are interesting
In
names.
ticks. Yes, in ticks. Okay. Viruses, these ones, tick, because tick is an arthropod. Mosquito is an arthropod. And the virus it transmits to man is called Congo virus. Dugbe virus, there is a town called Dugbe in Ibadan. That's where the name came out from. It was first isolated around that place.
Yeah. So during all these periods, from your primary, secondary, BSc, MSc, PhD levels, did you have any person that you were looking up to?
Yes. I had a mentor. First of all, as I told you, this man, when I was in primary school, they had a big reception for him in my village, Okada, small village. Okada is now growing, though. It's a small village. And everybody was, I looked at him and said, so what's all this about? Okay, he has an MSc. I said, I must have it. Then when I entered the university, somebody impacted me. I just went in. I had this Professor Aidoo. He is late now. And while everybody was having masters and masters, he came in and they were giving him a PhD. And it was different. So that impacted on me. I said, okay, after masters, I must have PhD. Those two motivated me to go higher and higher. Then I had my teacher, Professor Tonye. He was my teacher. He was an entomologist, and he had special interest in me doing well. And he also motivated him. He's late too. He motivated me to be an entomologist. Even when I was a virologist, he's not a virologist. He wasn't a virologist, but he followed me up. So those three incidences kept me going. You need a mentor. You need somebody that motivates you to go higher and higher. And Professor Tonye was very keen that I move, even as a lecturer, from one degree of lecturing to the highest. We come down on that.
Yes. To attain a professorial status is not an easy feat. You must have gone through it. So you go for a quick break. When we come back, you are going to run us through how it all started to this point. Okay, viewers, we take a break here. When we come back, we are still here with Professor Mrs. Okorie, who is the Dean of the Graduate School and Research at the Igbinedion University, Okada, Nigeria. Stay tuned.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because
Welcome back from the break, viewers. This is still Impact Stories, and today we are celebrating an icon in academia who is the Dean of the Graduate School at Igbinedion University, Okada, Nigeria. Her name is Professor Mrs. Grace Okorie. Welcome back, Prof.
Thank you.
Now, could you run us through how the process has been, where you started um, to this point.
Okay. I was in the university, and somebody that I need to acknowledge pushed me into actually doing postgraduate studies. That is my present husband. He's an academic himself,
Okay.
and he made sure that I do not only have an undergraduate degree, but that I move on to PhD. We were not married then,
Okay.
but that also was a great impact on me. And he saw me through from one master's to PhD. By the time we got married, I had already gotten my PhD, and he made sure I got my PhD. Now, having gotten my PhD, he is a lecturer. He was 7 then. And then he made it known to me that you cannot just have a PhD and stay in. Now, at this time, I have combined, I'm now a housewife, I've gotten children, and I must be a success in academics.
Yes.
So I have to combine all the three. I thank God that I knew God, because a woman does not know God. You will be struggling with men to reach where they are reaching, and you could miss out on a number of things. You would probably forget that you have a family to take care of, you have a family, a husband to make sure that you keep him, you have children to take care of, and you must progress in academics.
Yeah, Prof. We'll come back to talk about how you were able to juggle all these three
Okay.
roles.
It's very
But
important.
where did you start from? Your profession, what you are doing now, where you started from, and how the process has been to this point.
I started as an assistant lecturer, research fellow in various research lab, University of Ibadan.
Okay.
I was just an assistant lecturer. And that is where I was promoted to senior research fellow, that is lecturer 2, as a virologist. I was also promoted to lecturer 1 as a virologist. Now, at that point, I needed to move to somewhere else, because I was having a clash between taking care of my children, going to field work, because you can't do virology without traveling,
Okay.
and taking care of my family and progress. I made a decision to move from working in virus research lab to entering into the mainstream of academics in Department of Zoology. I've now gone back to my basic degree, and that's where I was now. I went there. By the time I went there, I was senior lecturer in zoology department. And from being a senior lecturer, I stayed there for a number of time. This is the period of taking care of husband, taking care of children, taking care of my work. It wasn't easy for me.
It wouldn't be.
It took me, while men were doing hop, step, and jump, I was focused on what I wanted. This is what I was telling you. At this time, anything you leave undone, you may have to pay for. You are not taking care of
Exactly.
your children. That promotion will not pay you in future.
So where did you start your career?
So what I did was to go slowly. When I reached my senior lecturership, there was a plateau for about 8 years, no promotion.
Wow.
That was when my children were growing up, and by the time they were mostly in secondary school, I had a break. Then I said I must be a professor. I wrote up all the accumulated papers,
Yes.
and got what it took to have the number of papers it took to be a professor. And I
Okay.
became a professor in 1994,
Wow, that's a long time ago.
25 years ago,
Wow,
in University of Ibadan.
I see.
Okay. So now you have your family, you have a professor. That is the peak of my career. In between, I have had administrative posts. Okay, you want me to go into it? In
Yes,
UI.
but let's come to the year in which you came to this university, Igbinedion University.
I came to Igbinedion University on sabbatical leave in 2006. When I came here, I was already, as I say, a professor. And I was immediately asked. I've already been a head of department in UI. I was immediately asked to be the dean of the College of Natural and Applied Science. I was there for 2 years. 2008, I was promoted or appointed to be the Deputy Vice Chancellor, 2008, Igbinedion University, Okada. By then, I had left the services of UI, University of Ibadan.
Okay.
So I was Deputy Vice Chancellor here in Igbinedion University up to 2013, when 5 years, when I left as Deputy Vice Chancellor, and then I reappointed to be the Dean of Postgraduate School in 2015. And that is the post I've been on up till now.
Okay. Are there any achievements that you'd want to share with us, awards and your publications?
The most thrilling thing was when I did my postdoctoral fellowship in Harvard Medical School. I worked with this lady, Alice Hang, in Harvard Medical Microbiology department. And I worked on antibody-antigen reaction using Staphylococcus aureus. We patented. That was my first patent. And we published in Nature. By then, I did not know what Nature is. Nature journal. It's later on in life, I found out that is one of the topmost places. That gave me the push. And all along my career from then, I had published up to now over 50 publications.
Wow.
Mostly in journals, and I've trained up to 35 master's students and maybe 15 PhD students, even right here, from UI to here.
Okay, so currently, are there any PhD candidates that you are mentoring?
Yes, I have 2 postgraduate students here, Austin Apoka and Tonye. They are here in microbiology department, and they are my PhD students.
Okay.
Before then, she's now Dr. Uku. She had graduated as a PhD student.
Prof, would you want to share with us your political and religious affiliations?
I am a born-again Christian. And any day, any time, I raise up my head and say, thank God, I know this God. Because without it, and all these intricacies of, should I compete with this man? Would I do this? I had that peace, gave me that peace. Just be focused. Know what you are as a woman. When you know that, all the others will be added. So that is number one. I'm not a politician. But I found out that politics, you can't avoid politics, okay?
Okay.
But I am not a politician, and I have no interest in going to do politics. I am a follower of Christ. If you call it, that is one. Politics, no.
No. Okay, Prof, let's go back and talk briefly about your family that you earlier started talking about. how easy or difficult was it to manage a family and at the same time be able to achieve this high feats that you have?
To me, it was very easy. You know why? If you know what you have come to do in this world and focus on it, there will be no clash. Very early in my marriage life, I accepted my husband as my head, the head. It took some time though before I said stop struggling. So that I don't compete with any man, neither do I compete with him. That steadies a woman. If you are in the family, married, and you think that two captains can be in one ship, you are finished. Having gotten that peace at home, he helped me to look after this. I had 6 children, and he helped me to look after the children. They are all graduates now, and I enjoyed every moment, plus and minus. Then, that's because there is that foundation and peace, I was able to face the academic world. Without my husband helping me in all these things, it would have been a different story. Now this is why when you are calling my name, Professor, you must add that word, Mrs. I want to be known that I have been married close to 50 years.
That's great.
And I'm still married to that man. It's the first degree I had. Because anybody can be Professor Tonye, is a man or woman. I want them to know I'm a woman. Then I want them to know I'm married. And then my children come. I'm at peace with God and man.
You know, from your narrative, you seem to have had busy schedule throughout.
What?
Do you, like, busy schedule, all the time you are doing something, you're always on the move and
yeah.
all that. Do you have leisure at all?
Oh, yes. I'm not on the move all the time. Well, let me correct that impression.
Okay.
When I walk, I walk. You know why I do that? Because as a woman, you have to impress the men ×2 before they know that you have achieved something. And I inculcate that into all my students, female students. I walk. But when I leave work, I close work. I don't take work into my house. Family, my husband, my children. That's primary. So there is a balance. And me and my husband, we have a way we relax. Me and my children, we have a way we relax. So that is that. I'm not a workaholic. But I work when I work, and I play when I play.
Yeah, Prof, you achieved a professorial status 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I do not know your age, but I know that, I mean...
I'm 70 plus.
Wow, but you don't look it.
Oh yes, I've told you what made me not look like that. I'm at peace.
So what physical activities do you do to keep, fit?
I eat sensibly. In those days I used to, when I was having children, I would be doing exercise, jog, then eat, and the whole figure will get messed up.
I see.
But as I grow older, I do not see any advantage a slim person, a thin person had over a plump person.
Wow.
You understand? Because I went to the hospital. If they say diabetes, you will see this thin man. He's suffering from diabetes. You will see that fat man. He's suffering from diabetes. If they say hypertension, the same story. So I decided there must be a balance between exercise, eating, leisure. And that keeps me going. And I like dressing up.
Okay.
When the years are coming and you don't help yourself, then it will be on your face, on your hair, everywhere. So every woman should take care of herself, dress well, and eat, do exercise. I am an exercise freak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. That's good. That's good to know.
Every morning, at least, I have some bad points.
I see.
I'm a freak in exercise. Okay.
That's great. And now we are almost at the end of the show.
Thank you.
But we cannot do without your favorites. Do you have any favorite sports, any favorite food, any favorite music, and the like?
In those days, anything goes. Okay, as well as it's jumpy, and my husband says, let's go there, let's this there, let's party there. Fine. But as you grow older and you know the Lord more, you are thinking of, I surrender all to God. I play beautiful Christian music. I'm a worshiper.
Okay.
And I worship the Lord. I go for fellowship. That sort of music is very attractive to me now. Okay, wait until you grow older. You find out that you find out that that sort of music is what you should be doing towards at this period.
Yes.
Okay, so I can tell you that is my best type of music, Christian worship music.
Sports.
Yes, I don't, of course, I don't do adult sports. I do exercise in the house. And it will interest you to know that I'm the chairman of sports, committee of sports here.
Okay.
Yes, I'm still, we look after the students in their different sports activity. I follow them, take them to different universities. I do sports with them.
Okay.
I do my own and jogging.
So do you have any favorite
Of what?
of sports? Like a particular sports that you like the most?
Right now,
Yes.
jogging, doing calisthenics, just raising up your leg, back, flatten your tummy, do this, do that. Any sporting outfit that they say can help you indoors.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay, finally, Prof, arguably you couldn't have risen to this point without challenges, and you were able to find your way through the challenges to this point. What advice would you give to people who have set targets for themselves but are going through a number of challenges?
If you try and you don't succeed, try and try again. Change your style. Maybe you are going this way and you should have gone that way. Remember, some people have passed through that challenge before. So have a mentor, somebody that is you can look up to, and you can go to the person and say, look, I'm having this problem. How can I solve it? That person will help you. But if you stay on your own and want to be a solo film star, it is difficult. I've told you, so many people have come. The husbands, the professors, so many people have impacted my life. So young people, please, have mentors. Share your problems, especially academic problems, and it will be fine with you.
Prof, apart from your regular roles, your activities in academia, are there other things that you are embarking on?
Yes, I'm right now interested in women empowerment. Anywhere I see a woman suffering, that motivates me even to help and to empower them to do a number of things. I'm also into what we call NET, Nigerian Environmental Study Team. Looked at the environment and how to know how to keep it clean and so on. Then, a few years ago, I was involved in poverty alleviation program. That was when I was in Ibadan. We have this, we called it Operation Farewell to Poverty. And I was involved in setting it up. It went across the whole of Nigeria, state by state, from north to the west. The head office was in Ibadan. And we did bring so many people together just to help them, assist them in poverty alleviation. I wasn't the head of that, but I played a prominent part in that poverty alleviation program.
So how impactful has it been so far?
It was very impactful in that it made us realize how people in the remote villages were just waiting for anybody to come and say, we will need to help you. Our headquarters in Ibadan was flooded from different areas, different people, church members, ordinary villagers, even academics.
Okay.
That's when I realized that we need to help those of us who have reached a certain level of comfort. We need to go down to where we come from and help. And I'm still in it in a different sort of way. I won't go into detail, but I'm there.
So are there any challenges that you are working to address?
Yes. Right now here in Okada, you will see women. A woman is selling cocoyam. She has just had a baby. She's backing the baby on her back. The tables are all the children, and she's selling with all the children helping her. And you see widows just trying to sew to make things meet. And I'm trying to reach out to them to improve their life and to tell them that they could go back to school. Many of them are young. For instance, there are some widows I've identified there. They are quite young, and they are just tailoring with 3 children, 4 children. The challenge is how to convince them to take them back to school so that they will be in a better position to fend for those children.
Okay.
And those ones selling in the market, how do you improve their status so that they can be financially empowered? Because I don't ever see the husbands around them. I was fortunate to have a husband who is an academic like me, helping me. But these ones are there with the children around them. She's had a baby, the other one is at the back. They are around here. And that's a challenge to me. I'm hoping to do something about it.
Viewers, this is all time will allow us to bring to you on Impact Stories. We spoke to Professor Tonye Grace Okorie. Professor, before I am liable for contempt, let me quickly add Professor Mrs.
Thank you.
Professor Mrs. Tonye Grace Okorie. She is the Dean of the School of Postgraduate Studies and Research here at Igbinedion University, Okada, Nigeria. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Aidoo, and I sat in for the regular host. See you.